everybody. Good evening from this part of the world. And Akshat, thank you for doing this for us. And Vivek, thank you for chairing this.
Wonderful. Good evening again, and thank you very much for joining us and joining us on time, most of you. I know 6:30 can be the end of a very long day, so thank you very much for taking the time out here. Before we begin, I definitely want to call out, big thanks to Deepthi and Girish for curating this entire series for the win. This is definitely designed to help our industry design and deliver high quality work that genuinely benefits business, society, and the planet at large. So this conversation that we're having today is special because it sits right at the heart of this ambition of sort of addressing the benefits of all three sectors. And it's a privilege to have Akshat join us. I couldn't have asked for a better partner in crime here. Akshat has spent nearly 3 decades working at the fault line between clients, agencies across local, regional, and global brands. There's a long list of all the marquee brands that he's worked with, but I'm not going to focus on that. But I think what sets him apart and I found really fascinating in the conversation we had is the kind of systems he has built to deliver exceptional work that then goes on to win at multiple levels, right? So I think that is something we hope we will be able to unpack in the conversation today, and that might be really beneficial for all of us. He's also founded the School of Creative Bravery, and I like the spotlight on the word bravery because the real question is not how do we create great work, but how, are we brave enough to create great work? So, and that I think is what addresses a lot of sort of pains that our industry quietly struggles with, which is weak briefs, blurred decision-making processes, the fear of asking questions, pushing our clients to do, interesting work and stuff like that. So I think he's going to talk to us a lot about how we can navigate some of those spaces. And for the last 14 years, Akshat has also been the official Cannes Lions representative across Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and Uzbekistan. So it's also we're going to hear from a part of the world that we don't normally see in these kind of areas, and I think that makes it equally interesting for us. So we're hoping this sort of his understanding of how emerging markets can develop great ideas to compete at a global level with great confidence will be very exciting for us to unpack here. So with that, if I think we have a full room of all 24 people are here today. So Akshat, if it's good, let's get started then. Yeah.
Hello. Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you, Vivek, for a quick introduction. My name is Askhat. I'm very flattered to get this invitation for this session. And I feel really, really nervous about it. And it's not absolutely normal. I believe that the moment you stop getting nervous, you should change your what you do in life. So because creativity and feeling of getting nervous, they're very linked altogether. Creativity is always about going to unknown places, going to something that you've never experienced before, and that's why you should feel a little bit nervous. So uh, I started my work in '97, work in marketing and creative communications, and it was the moment when I did know anything about creativity, about marketing, about advertising, and so on. So my understanding was so basic, and I was so lucky to have my first client as Philip Morris. And then I started understanding what is marketing, what's the role of marketing communication, what's the role of marketing mix, what's the role of different elements, instruments of marketing communications in the success of any brand. And then my second client was P&G, Procter and Gamble. So I was very lucky to have them in the very beginning. And still I'm learning every day, and still I feel a bit childish because it's another part of my DNA. So the moment you stop being childish, it's going to be harder to use creativity and go to unknown places. This is what I believe in. So I opened my School of Creative Bravery in 2010 when I quit from the agency, and in 2011 I became representative of the International Festival of Creativity Cannes Lions in the country. So this was the time when my beard story started. So I thought that by that time Kazakhstan was one of the few countries in the world that didn't have any single Cannes Lion award yet. And it was a big question for me, what's wrong with us? What's wrong with the country? What's wrong with the nation? What's wrong with our industry? Is it like we're not capable of doing it? Or is it something else? So I decided to remind to the market that we work in advertising, we work in marketing and communications, but we don't do it good enough. So that's why I started growing visual reminder. It looked like that. It was beard, and it took me 13 years. So it was a long beard, really long beard. Actually, my younger daughter, she didn't know me without beard at all. So I was a bit afraid by the moment when I was going to shave it, to celebrate the first win for Kazakhstan. So I was really a bit afraid. So every year I reminded to the market that, come on, the beard is growing longer, and so on. So the market started changing. We started coming up with ideas which in our mind were good enough for Cannes Lions. And only in 14 years we cracked that nut. And I'm gonna tell you a bit more about it. So 2024, one of the leading agencies in Kazakhstan called GeForce Grey, they got a gold lion. So the first lion was gold already, so it was not bronze, it was not silver, although we had one short list in 2018, so we came a bit closer to lion. But the trophy itself we got only in 2024. I'm going to show you a quick movie about the atmosphere of that win and people from GeForce agency. Just a second.
Past year, I think that was the most meaningful year in my life.
It took about 20 years, so I am extremely happy.
We've got a special winner, the first gold lion for Kazakhstan.
Amazing!
Culture changing work. Thank you, GeForce.
This realization didn't hit you the moment you hold it on the stage. It sneaks in later, in a quiet moment, when you see it on the shelf at the office, or a new client reaches you out and says, hey guys, we know that you are the ones who bring the lion to the country, and your team is pitching with a little bit more fire in their eyes. And this is incredible feelings, you know.
They took a big risk and it paid off for them. It paid off as a business, but it also paid off for society and changed law.
I think that one of the most meaningful experience for me was being invited judging the Spikes Asia. The real win for us was not winning a lion, but breaking the feeling that it was out of the reach. The creative world is not really far, it's close to us, it's human, it's open, and it's ours as well. Once something becomes possible in your mind, it stops being a dream and start being a direction.
Interesting. It started to be a direction in 2024. That's why the same agency got bronze and silver in 2025. So now it's like we broke the curse, and now we feel that everything is possible, and we don't have this feeling behind, and nobody can stop us. So
Since you're,
GeForce Go.
since you're feeling that, Askhat, may I ask you the first
Sure,
question,
sure.
right? Since you've seen this in so many different markets, you've seen how ideas emerge, at different levels of maturity, constraints, all of that. My question to you would be, where does Khan level work really start, right? Is it with an insight? Is it sometimes like in the case of the program that you did, it begins with anger, cultural tension, it could be ambition, right? So where do you think the idea really sparks off?
Yeah. So as far as I know and believe in, the most line-ready work usually starts with cultural tension. So while insights, they are observations. Tension is a problem that demands a solution. So if you speak about anger, anger often fuels the most powerful PR work because it creates an emotional imperative to act. Ambition is the scale, but tension is the spark. If there is no tension, it's really strange, and it's really hard to make your people think out of the box, think in this unknown territory of creativity if there is no tension. So low number of cells is not really a tension. If you, I'd like to draw your attention to the terminology, like what is creativity? I love a simple meaning that creativity is innate ability of human being to create new connections out of old ones. So it's so good. Now you can understand that when you think that this idea is creative, it must exploit some new connections, new schemes out of what you already saw and know. So that's why creativity, we are born with creativity. So it's not something that we have to fight for throughout our life. So, but another thing is that some of us use creativity throughout life, and some of us don't usually exploit it. So that's why when it comes to creating a new solution to either business or social problem, those people who trained, it takes less time for them to come up with creative solution. But those people who didn't train, it takes them really, really long time to come up with something. So that's why you must train creativity. You don't, you shouldn't rely on a chance that, come on, let's use brainstorming, something is gonna, happen here. No, brainstorming is actually one of the less useful technology of creating ideas.
I couldn't agree more with you.
Yeah.
How does one train for creativity, Askhat? How do you shape, you start beginning to even train your mind towards that? What could be some steps you could sort of guide us through?
Well, first of all, you must understand what is the problem. And usually it would be great if that problem touches you personally. So it's like inside you personally don't like this problem exists. So when you have it, your mind starts thinking about it. and then subconscious yourself sooner or later starts throwing out some of the sparks, some of the glimpses of idea for you. So that's why you should always keep a pen or pencil and some piece of paper close to you just to write it down. Yeah, because usually our mind is such an organ that it can you can keep in your brain 5-7 important things. Just memorize it, remember it. So that's why and usually they are related to not to work, but to your personal things, family, health, money, and so on. So that's why when new idea comes up to you, it means that it cannot really be memorized in your brain. So that's why you should always write it down or somehow save it in your mobile, or just make it real. So when I was working in the agency Sticks Burnett, my boss, director of the agency, he's a very, very creative person. He was sharing his stories that some of the ideas come to his mind around 4 a.m. So that's why he had to wake up, write them down, and then keep on sleeping. I didn't understand that. I was fantasy. But then when I went into idea creation more and more, I got that feeling. 4 a.m. You have it. Yeah. If you don't wake up, forget about it. You will never remember.
So I have a colleague who says she gets her best ideas when she's under the shower. So she has a little notebook in her bathroom.
Awesome. Awesome.
So I'm sure different people have different quirks on this.
Fantastic. So that's why I still believe in the power of right hand, because I'm right-handed. When you have a pen, you have a notepad, and you just write them down. And there's another interesting thing. When you write something down, new neural connection starts appearing in your mind. So that's what in your brain starts thinking subconsciously, still keep thinking about it more and more. So that's why it's important. Despite the fact that you're a Zoomer or Alpha or whatever, use your leading hand. Write everything down.
It's tough for most people to accept, but I think it is a reality.
I'm going to continue on another interesting question from you regarding what is
ideas.
What is
lots
priority?
of interesting ideas.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yes. What is priority?
Yeah.
How do you differentiate between interesting ideas and the important idea? How do we sort of figure out which one's going to really click? Any sort of insights from that would be very helpful.
Yeah, I love how you put it. Interesting versus important idea. Like what has the best priority? So my view is that interesting idea gets a like or a share, but it can be a clever distraction. Although important idea solves a friction point in society or business. So juries usually look for ideas that had to happen, where the world would be slightly worse off if the idea didn't exist. So if you don't have your own system on evaluating ideas, create one, or invite me to come to one of my favorite countries in the world. So I can share with you the methodology on how you can come up with system of evaluating the ideas. So the moment when you have ideas, you take your favorite sentence, I like it or I don't like it, and you just forget about it. You take the system, use it for evaluation of every idea, and then see at the total score, and then you see intermediate scores, and then you can understand, okay, we have that idea, but it's an interesting one, but it doesn't look so important because the score on importance is quite low here. Although another one looks very potentially interesting because importance is almost at the top. Although the interesting level is not so good, let's elaborate it more to make it interesting. So, you know, I was so surprised when I came to Cannes Lions for the first time. It was 2012. And by that time, I've already developed a system of evaluating clients' briefs. Marketing briefs, communication briefs, creative briefs, PR briefs, and so on. So, and I thought that I'm a bit insane. I created something that probably only I need in this life. But then when I started talking to clients, to agencies, I understood that I found that golden nugget. Clients don't like talk about their briefs. When they get template for the brief, they fill it in. And then they pass it to you. Okay, we filled it in. But the point is not to fill it in. The point is to develop it. Because we should understand your business, your problem, your context, everything, without spending a year or several years on your business. So the moment I shared that we have this system at Cannes Lions, I was so surprised because I got fantastic feedback from delegates from both sides, clients and agencies, that it's so good because it's something that we've never done before. So that's why it makes sense for you to come up with your own system on how to evaluate clients' briefs regarding PR, if you're a PR specialist. Because if you get the brief from client and it has a low score, clients should know about it. Because clients should understand that the outcome, the PR idea or PR strategy, would be also low score. Do you want it? No. We'd like to have a fantastic PR strategy. Then let's rework the brief. So because it works the same way as in IT industry. Good comes, good goes, and vice versa.
Yeah, we can get it out.
Yeah. Actually, it started with the brief. My school started with the brief because that was the tension. I didn't like that the briefs, most of the briefs, they don't mean anything. Clients just fill it in, and then they're waiting for a miracle to happen. Push the button, make it good. So that was the moment of cultural tension. So same thing for any ideas that you will create in coming years.
That brings us to this question, Askhat, where I've seen clients want to win, but they also want to play safe very often, right? Because there's a lot at stake with the brand, its customers, stakeholders, all of that. There's also big monies often needed for all of this. But how do we sort of encourage clients to really be brave about these things? Because I've seen very often this safe brief piece that you're talking about comes from this, I want to play safe. And then if I don't want, let's not upset people, let's not push the apple cart too far. How do we slowly start getting clients to recognize the importance of being brave with their ideas, with their briefs?
One of my observations is that clients should be fed up with everything that they did before, fed up with average results and so on. So if they don't feel it, they will never go beyond. They will always play safe. And playing safe is not about creative ideas, because creativity is creating new connections, new schemes. And new is always scary, because it's in our human DNA. We don't like anything new. It was good. Let's keep it. Let's stick to it. Remember this, I don't know, you don't remember probably, but you know from history that there was Stone Age and people were living in caves, but finally someone said, let's go out of the cave. That was a creative decision. And all the others, they were afraid of it. Same thing with fire. Same thing with many, many, many other things. So creativity helps us evolve. Same thing for the business. So creativity is not a kind of adjective. It's a part of your business strategy. And but clients must be fed up with what they have. If they don't feel it, they will never go extra mile. And but we can help them to feel like we're fed up. It's like sessions like this. It's like talking, working, and learning from the best cases coming from your market and neighboring market, to see that, come on guys, creative solutions which are awarded at Cannes and other creative awards and festivals, they are 11 times more effective as non-creative. Is it good for a business? Damn. Yeah. I can spend 11 times less, or I can get results 11 times more. It looks so cool. So numbers, figures, experts, authorities, and get them to compliance.
Sure.
It's damn expensive, but it's worth every penny, every dollar, every tenge. We have tenge here.
Just building on that, two follow-up questions that come to my mind. One is, do all winning cases normally sit at the intersection of impact on business, cultural tension, as you really called it out, and creativity as well? Or sometimes they can just focus on one area?
Usually, winning work sits at the center of business problem, cultural context, and creative bravery. If you have business problem and cultural context, but if you miss creative bravery, that your work is invisible. And vice versa. If you have bravery, but no business problem, it's just art. That doesn't make sense. There is also interesting thing you put in the guide, cosmetic versus essential creativity.
Yeah.
Because there is a stereotype that, oh, come on, all these festivals, awards, you need just to, to boast yourself, to show each other awards, to make fancy photos and so on. No. Like the book I mentioned last time, it's called The Case for Creativity by James Herman. It brings up results of researches. I think there were around 13 researches made for last 20 years, finding correlations between business results and awards. And there is a correlation. There is a correlation, and there is a connection to stock indexes, to the value of the brand, value of the company, and so on. So it's not just like our creativity for the sake of fame. No, it's for the sake of business. And interesting that juries at Cannes and at other big awards, they are trained to ask, could this brand have achieved this result without this specific creative idea? If the answer is yes, the creativity was cosmetic. In Cannes level work, the creative idea is the engine of the result, not the wrapping paper. So
and getting a little practical about it, given the way we are structured today, given the way the world has moved ahead, what kind of disciplines do you feel we need to start building for that will help this brave creativity thrive in our organizations, right? Because very often it's somehow dependent on the creative thinker. There's this one individual who's supposed to create magic, but if one has to create a system the way you have, any insights on what kind of discipline should we be thinking of building? Any new areas that you feel people are not thinking of, but is it going to be really important going forward?
First of all, I'd love you to get rid of the feeling that, oh, come on, we are PR specialists, we're not creative, or we shouldn't be creative. No, creativity is exploited in any area or industry of human being. Do you know why do we have good football players? Why do they emerge? Come on, everything was done before. Maradona, Pelé, other famous footballers, but no. Every year we have new names because they are creative in what they do. Same thing in music. Come on, 7 notes. Everybody used them many times in different schemes, but you have it. Anyway, every year you discover new music for yourself. Same thing for PR. Same thing for events. Same thing for sponsorship. Same thing for advertising. Same thing for packaging and many other things. Even in the government, why do we have sometimes we have interesting governmental officials? They must be boring, talk a lot, but it happens that you have a person that puts a different perspective on what he does or she does and says. So the first thing, get rid of the feeling and understanding that PR specialists are not creative. You are creative. If you are a human being, you are creative, but you should train yourself. So if you don't have any system of creating ideas in your company, find out about existing ones, about existing instruments, how to create ideas. I know around 100 formats on how to create ideas. And brainstorming is one of them, but it should be done in an absolutely different way comparing with what we have now. Actually, brainstorming was created by one of the founders of BBDO agency. This O means Osborne, the guy responsible for brainstorming as a technique. He was working in the plant, and his goal was to create ideas how to make the process better. So created that system, which the whole brainstorming should be done for maximum 30 minutes, 30 minutes. And all of the participants who come for brainstorming, they must pronounce or I don't know, or cry out, or they must explain their idea with the speed of 2 ideas per minute. So it should be fast. You have only 30 seconds to explain your idea. Then you stop and another person explains his or her idea or builds on your idea. So that's why by the end of brainstorming, you must have at least 60 ideas. And then one person with logic mind takes them, strategic mind, we can call him, takes it and then evaluates them and say, okay, out of 60, these 4 can lead us somewhere. Let's elaborate more on them. So this is how we should work. And usually you distribute briefs among participants of brainstorming 1 or 2 days before the brainstorming, not at the brainstorming. So our mind needs time to soak in, to put everything to subconscious level. So by the moment we come, we have these sparks which bring us to ideas. And it's only one methodology on how to create ideas, but there are more. Like BBDO, they have they fantastic not squares, like 20 questions methodology. And they are so cool. By the moment you answer those 20 questions, you can find so interesting ideas or directions which you can really elaborate more. So all of big agencies, they have their own methodologies, and usually they are available. They are available in the internet.
So I'm going to be selfish and ask you something here. If we were to dial back time and go back to 2023, when you probably started the work on the campaign that won the card in 2024, could you walk us through how you began, how you narrowed down on the idea, how you really started bringing the creative elements together? If you could just dial back in time and tell us how you really came up with the whole idea. What elements came together, how you brainstormed, all of that.
Do you think we should look at this work first?
Yes,
so
let's play the video. Absolutely.
Okay, let me do it. Okay.
Kazakhstan has been engulfed by a wave of domestic violence. Only, most local men actually don't care. But the thing men in Kazakhstan really care and love to talk about is ultimate fighting sports. So, we moved domestic violence from the kitchen to the professional ring. Introducing Kazakhstan's first ever men versus women fight in the grand MMA ring of Ruh Fighting that was presented and would be live streamed on their social media platforms. And indeed, men started talking. Surprisingly, they didn't like it. Men unequivocally expressed that this sport was unwanted and couldn't possibly exist in Kazakhstan. The fight must be canceled. But what's already happening can't be canceled. We launched the shocking live stream of the fight on air. We spoke directly with men only and made them talk. For the first time, conservative men joined in signing petitions for the enactment of the law on the criminalization of domestic violence.
Yeah.
So that was the work, and it started with the tension. Because the team behind it, they got this Ruh Fighting as a client, and client is another big part of the success, because if no client is interested in the work, they can shift perception and influence attitudes, then nothing is going to work. So client must be on board, not just the guy, not just the client, but as a part of the team. And those guys from Ruh Fighting, actually, I think it was during one of the conversations, that the level of domestic violence is quite high. And then we started to think on how we can address this question to men only. Because usually when you raise this issue, there are lots of discussions, comments, but they are mostly done by women. And our task was to involve men into conversation. So that's why client and the team, they decided to use the platform of fighting, because it's one of the most popular level of activity for men to watch. So, and then it started cooking, and then they came up with this idea to create the fight which should not happen in the country. And then people understood that, damn, the fights like that are happening in the country every day, every night, and there are so many of them. And then men started talking. And then finally it came to passing a law about criminalization of domestic violence, because it was not criminalized before. So, and
was the client always very receptive to ideas of this nature? Did you have to work with them to sort of find alignment here?
Yeah, if client sees you as source of authority, and if they treat you as experts, they can trust you, and then they can join you in on this journey. But if you don't really persuade client, if you feel like something is not good, something is not worked well, not developed well, client will feel it, and because it was a big risk for their business. Yeah. Because they deal with all these fights directed to men. So men could have said, come on, we don't like it, and then to turn around. So it was a risk. But all of the works that win at Cannes or any other festivals, they are all have a bigger portion of the risk. So if the work is not risky, then it means that it was done before. So people saw it. Some of other clients, they did it before. So it's not creative by definition. It means that you cannot influence the market. You cannot influence community. So that's why you should always explore unknown areas. Marketing is also, it's 50% of something that you know, something that you've experienced, and 50% of something that you can expect but not be sure. Yeah. Because if everything is 100% known in the marketing or in business, then why not all of the businesses are so successful? So
what was the tipping point in the campaign that led to the law being changed? That would, because that's so powerful, right? Even in the video when you present it, although I just see it in the last 5 seconds, it says that the campaign has had such a significant impact that, you know, a momentous change has been affected. What
Vivek, something is wrong with your connection.
At such a deep level.
Okay, now I can hear you. The tipping point. I cannot say that the law was passed thanks to that particular campaign, because the campaign started in September, and then the ball started to roll, and somewhere at the end of October or November, one of ex-ministers from the government, ex-minister of economy, I guess, he accidentally killed his wife. And then it gave such a big boost to the campaign that started earlier, so nobody could stop conversations about it. And then finally, it led to the fact that somewhere in March, I think it was March, they passed the law. But the thing is that both that agency and client, they saw feedback from communities and from other businesses as well, because other businesses wanted to join you in this or even next campaign. So that's why they kept on thinking about this issue, which led them to another campaign that brought them bronze and silver. Would you like to have a look at it?
Fantastic. Yes, please.
Okay, it's here.
This is Sultanat Nukianova. She was the wife of one of the most prominent ministers of state in Kazakhstan. In November 2023, Sultanat was killed by her husband.
Soon after, Parliament passed a new law criminalising domestic abuse. People named it Sultanat's Law.
The problem is, as time passed,
the issue of domestic violence and the new law faded. People didn't realise how often domestic violence happened in the country, so we needed to find a new way to bring it to light.
Citix is a digital outdoor high-tech company with inventory all around the country. They restored a faded and abandoned neon sign from a department store with the same name, Sultanat, and gave it a new meaning.
Every time a new case of domestic violence is reported in Kazakhstan, the sign starts blinking, reflecting the domestic violence statistics in real time.
Мы развернули локальную LLM-GPT-модель, настроили в формате агента.
A custom-built AI parser scans national news sources and verified social accounts of anti-violence organizations. When it detects a report, the sign responds in real time. And so do over 100 Citix digital billboards across the country. Each screen promotes a special Telegram chatbot developed in partnership with the UN. It explains how Sultanat's law works and how women can use it to protect themselves.
Причем в реальном времени. Проект называется «Свет Салтанат».
Салтанат. Новый закон таким образом
считаем нужным рассказать.
Но это говорит не о том, что у нас увеличилось насилие, а это говорит о том, что женщины стали об этом говорить открыто, обращаться за помощью.
Yeah, that's powerful. Fantastic.
You know, one of the biggest benefits of a great idea is that it attracts partners. Other businesses, agencies, I don't know, production companies, people, bloggers, everyone. So, and then you can understand that you can do much more than just by yourself alone. And of course, it gives you credibility as a creative problem solver. And then it comes to the fact that new clients are coming to you. And then you can raise your check, by the way.
Which is what we all love, yes. Keeping an eye on the clock as well, Askhat. I want to come to sort of the last segment of our conversation, and again, something that we're often asked, and I think we all debate is, a great idea sometimes is lost because of poor packaging, right, and poor execution, and not correctly. And for awards of this nature, showcasing your work is very important. So I was hoping we could use the last few minutes to really, maybe talk about your experience and your insights on how do we package our work, for the global stage.
you're right. Many great ideas die because the case film tries to do too much. Your case, which should be maximum 2 minutes, it should tell one story. If you try to prove the work was a PR success, a digital success, and a social success all at once, you dilute the core big idea. And lots of cases usually collapse at the impact stage. Juries are allergic to vampire metrics, such as billions of impressions, 100% positive sentiment. They want to see behavioral change. Did people change how they vote, shop, or think? So this is what you should put into your impact part of the case. And juries also can sense a work bait when the work created only for a trophy. They can feel it instantly. They ask, did this live in the real world or just on a case study server? So authenticity is the ultimate filter. If the work felt organic to the audience it served, it will resonate with the jury. It takes time to come up. You should train yourself to create case studies. So sometimes you need help from, for instance, previous Cannes Lions jury or winners, or even production companies. But it's possible. So just imagine when you're a jury at Cannes, there are so many works you should judge at a very limited time. So if you don't use first 30 seconds to explain there is something interesting, something interesting in your case, then most likely they will skip your work.
I hear you. On that note, I think before we close, I was wondering if we can open it up for questions from the audience. So if anyone has any questions, we can take them now. You can either unmute yourself and ask the question or raise your hands and we can sort of cue you in. Go ahead, Deepti.
Hi, great session. Akshat, I wanted to ask you, you talked about there are so many ways to create an idea and you talked about brainstorming. Is there any other words at least you can throw which we can at least look up on Google? What are the other ways to create an idea?
There is a fantastic, I think it's best book on the methods of creating ideas. It's called, I think it's called the same way, How to Create Ideas. It was written 50 years ago, no, even more, around 60 years ago. It's quite thin, it's not that thick. And the psychologist who wrote it, I will later on, I will send you the exact name of the book and psychologist. He explains how our mind works in creating ideas. Okay, so it's one of the best example how to use your brain to create ideas. Very simple, you can explain it to a schoolboy, schoolgirl easily. Okay. And I can do even more. I will prepare you some more methodologies, names of them, and so you could find them in.
That'll be very kind of you. That'll be very kind of you.
Awesome. And then we can share with the group. Thank you.
Do we have any other...
I want to add more. If you want to win a lion, stop trying to win a lion. That's Instead, try to solve a problem so effectively and so creatively that the industry would be poorer if it wasn't recognized.
Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. So I have one before we wrap up. You waited for 14 years to shave that beard of yours. What could be similar inspirations for us? Not growing beards, but otherwise to be able to drive, this quality of thinking and to start building that rigor, one or two pieces of advice on a parting note that you would like to leave for us?
It's a hard one. It's a hard one. But from a human point of view, all of us need to be reminded of something important. So if having a PR lion is important for your community, why don't you all together come up what can be a reminder for all of us? How often can we see that reminder or hear it, or I don't know, feel it? Because then we will keep that idea of having a lion on the surface in our mind, so it will not disappear somewhere. Yeah. So maybe it can be a first task for your community to create a reminder for PR people. How should we remind ourselves that we deserve to be more visible, hearable, and to get paid more by the clients?
Fantastic. This is such a lovely conversation, Askhat. Thank you so much.
Akshat, maybe next time we'll all put an alarm for 4 a.m. That's what Girish is doing. 4 a.m. alarm to put the cards.
Don't sit in a shower or grow up blood. I think that's what Girish is aiming for.
We're going to create a jingle that rings at everybody's phone at 4 a.m. And that can be an entry to Cannes. How many community people wake up at 4 a.m.?
I think we have one raised hand.
Yes, Keta, you have
Hi. Hi, Askhat. Good evening.
Hello.
Askhat, I have a very small question here. When jurors disagree on certain case, certain entry, what tends to be the deciding factor for a win? I mean, there must be something that everyone should be common with. So are there any other factors when all the jurors disagree, something like that?
Yeah, the jury president. So one of the most important factor. That's why when you decide to enter this or that award, always look at the presidents, and even at the ones below the presidents, because all of the juries, they have their own styles, character regarding how do they approach to this or that work. How do they judge? What do they look at? So follow the judges. And you can even, LinkedIn is fantastic tool. You can even approach them and ask for their advice or their opinion. Usually they always provide you with the feedback. So, but one of the most important factors is the president. When there are conflicting views, and someone should decide what should be done, the president is the one.
Understood. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Askhat. We will bother you. I think you've given us the opportunity to sort of tap into you for more conversations on evaluation and stuff. So I think we will definitely check in with you through the year.
Thank you. As I said, I will follow with recommendations regarding the methodologies, books, and so on. Always keep your shelf of professional books in your community, in your organization.
Thank you so much again. Have a good day.
You're welcome.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Let's make a group photo.
Oh, lovely. Sure.
Yeah. Why don't everyone switch on cameras? Let's have fun. So Vivek, maybe you can create a screenshot or.
Sure. There we go.
Ready?
Cheese.
Hey.
Got that.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Askhat. Thanks, Vivek. Really good session. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. See you. See you one day. See you next time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.